switched up, I just changed lanes. I be with them niggas getting money and with niggas who gang bang. You niggas too frilly, you too strange. Cop some better work, hit the block, save up, get a new chain. I see my uncle hop in a new range. He taught me how to rap, bubble pack, now I got me some new flavor. I know y'all niggas thought that y'all had me, but the glick in the stash, she tried me. Get popped like acne, we got buttons on the back of them ratchets. Two turn can't relax me, rock designer, bitch, ain't none of us tacky. Ain't have nothing but some noodles in the crib. On that demon time, I move crucial with my blick. Baby, I'm a blood, but I be grooving with my sig. I be getting paranoid, bitch, don't be moving through my crib. No, it's RMSG, and I started this shit with Miz. Vamping in the jacks, they know I did this shit with shiz. We really put that bat on ass, we don't talk about them kids. They know I'm from the trenches, so it is what it is. Yeah.
Yo, what's the deal with your boy Norbs? And this is the 10-8 podcast. What is good? My kids keep playing my damn sound effects. It's really annoying. I gotta fix it. Again, guys, I'm not done with the studio yet. It's a little dark in the background. I'm gonna light all that stuff up for you. I gotta fix some things on the sign. You gotta lower that, make sure it gets in the shot. There's just a lot of things I gotta do. But anyways, tune into YouTube if you're in right now. At Norbs Network. The link is in the bio if you guys want to call in. I'm going to put the call-in number. But we're going to talk about the presser, last night's presser, or actually yesterday's presser with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. My thoughts on it. What did you guys think about it? I thought it was dope. You know what I mean? It was just good to hear something different than Canelo and what he's going to do May 4th. I'm super geeked for the fight, the 20th. I would love to go to the fight, to be honest with you. I'm planning on going. I don't know if tickets are actually on sale yet, but I do believe that it's going to be big. It's going to be very, 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 very big. I was debating yesterday with my boy Gerald. Actually, he was telling me he doesn't believe it's going to be a good fight. Well, he believes that Devin's going to win the fight. Clearly, I think most people have Devin winning the fight, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of believers in Ryan Garcia. And there's a lot of reason for that, to be honest with you. Listen, I like Devin. I like Ryan Garcia, and I think Ryan Garcia brings a certain thing to boxing, and he's a huge pay-per-view star. He has a huge following. What he made last year, $41 million. People are going to crave to fight. Are going to want to fight Ryan Garcia. He just brings people in to bring to the table. Now, win, lose, or draw, I'm hoping that he has a great fight because, they both came out and they both were stating who they want to fight next. And this is good for boxing. This is extremely good for boxing. This fight should be made. These are two young guys in their prime making this happen. So I'm super excited to see Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. And I take my hat off to them, making this happen now. Not when they're 50 years old, not at those times. You know what I mean? But if you guys want to call in 470-326-6329. I'm taking calls. And we're going to talk about this. We're gonna get shit shaking. But what did I get out of the presser? Oh, well, first of all, well, I was going to address this thing, but I'll address it later. First of all, I'm super geeked for the fight. I'll tell you this. What concerns me most about Ryan Garcia is his behavior. Just the things that he's been doing outside of boxing, in boxing. Even at the press conference when he came at Bernard Hopkins, I was glad to see him squash that issue with Bernard. But I was definitely, I've definitely been concerned about what he's been doing, in my opinion, in this fight. And listen, Devin Haney looks sharp. He looks like mentally he's there. He's ready. Doesn't do much talking. He lets his dad, Bill Haney, do the talking. So that's a dope thing. But to be honest, I appreciate it, Gun Raw. But to be honest, Ryan Garcia's mental state definitely it's kind of weird. And the things that he's doing outside of boxing, which, make me feel as if that Devin Haney's going to win this fight easily. Now, Ryan Garcia has a skill set. They met in the amateurs. Ryan Garcia and him split 3-3. Apparently, Ryan Garcia says that he hurt Devin Haney in the fight, in one of those fights, and had a 10-8 count. But Devin Haney says the same thing, and whatever. But I will say this: in regards to Ryan Garcia and everything he's doing outside the ring, that's where I'm concerned. In regards to his actual talent, he has it. He has it. It's simply mental. But even yesterday, Devin Haney comes out and says, "Yo, this guy's a drunk. You smell his breath. He's drinking." And that kind of concerns me. You're 2 months away from a fight. Devin Haney doesn't look like he's drinking alcohol. He looks like he's focused training and all that. Ryan walking around at 168, he said? Stuff like that, and just everything that's going on around him. The divorce that he announces publicly after having the baby the day of. These are the things that bring me to look at this fight like, damn, Devin Haney might be catching him at the right time. Because I believe he has the one-punch power. He has the speed. This is the second time around with Derrick James. Hopefully he's better. My thing is to focus. If Devin Haney is focused, if Ryan Garcia is focused, then he stands a good shot of winning this fight, to be honest with you. Somebody's I'm going with Devin. Ryan's chin's not good enough. Tank showed you what's up with him. Well, he hit him in the body. It wasn't his chin. To be honest with you, that's what put him out. You know what I mean? And he knocked him down early, whatever. But Devin has been rocked as well a couple times in boxing by lesser-known fighters. To be honest, Ryan has showed the ability to recover from that. Devin doesn't have much pop. That's what concerns me in regards to that's one of the positives in regards to Ryan Garcia. I don't think Ryan Garcia fears Devin's punch, his power. There is no rehydration clause. These guys are going to probably balloon up to about 160, both of them. Nobody has an advantage in regards to that. Nobody's going to be drained. So in that respect, I think Ryan is going to be fine, to be honest with you. It's just, like I said, it's mental. Listen, Devin is a very strategic fighter. He's very smart. He keeps you at bay, keeps you at distance, controls the fight. Ryan has to get at him early. But that's the key thing right there. I don't think Ryan has to fear getting hurt by Haney. I don't think Haney has the pop to hurt him. And even when Ryan's talking yesterday, I forgot, I think Eddie Hearn had said something. And he said, basically, don't lie. And then there was a couple things he said. He said something along the lines of, you've never seen him get a first-round knockout. Because Bill Haney came out and said he bet Ryan Garcia if he gets knocked out in the first round that he would retire. And they shook on it. And again, Bill Haney's playing mind games. He's playing mind games. And Ryan Garcia definitely feeds into all these things. Just let it go, whatever. He bets on that. Now, I don't believe there's a chance Devin Haney knocks him out in the first round. Period. I just be honest. I don't believe that he can hurt him, Devin. I think Devin will beat him. He'll beat him strategically, put nice bruises on his face. But a first round knockout to me is completely out of the question. But again, Bill Haney playing the mind games, going out there saying these things, is really to get under Ryan's skin and to get him not focused on the fight and focused on little details that can derail what he's supposed to go out and do. And listen, Bill Haney understands that. He understands the psychological game in regards to boxing. He understands, the mental aspect and the war aspect. We all know Devin doesn't pack a big punch. We all know that. Like this is not something that is a surprise. Nobody believes in Ryan Garcia's camp that Devin can hurt him. But we all do know that he can hurt Devin. He has the power. He has the speed. So to me, somebody said he dropped progress. Yeah, he dropped progress. Didn't hurt him. He just dropped him. Let's be real. He doesn't have that type of power. He has enough to keep him off him. He's a strong guy. He's a bigger guy. at 140. But Devin Haney doesn't possess the power, in my opinion, to hurt Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia can finish you. Throws a serious left hook, which Devin Haney will stay away from the entire fight. Devin Haney will dictate the pace and things of that nature. Ryan, hopefully under Derrick James, is able to make it a fight that makes Devin Haney uncomfortable. Gets in there, gets some shots off. Is patient, doesn't rush. So I think Derrick James is very key in their game plan because they do possess the power to end this early. And I think that may be something that has to happen early. He has to land something sufficient in order to send a message and try to dictate the pace. And that's where Devin's going to really, really steer away from that left hook. He's going to force him to do to make Ryan uncomfortable. Listen, Ryan is dangerous. If people think that Ryan is not dangerous, you're bugging out. Listen, he lost to Gervonta. He looked crazy. He was wild skinny. He looked weak. Got dropped early because he was just not comfortable. And then ends up being stopped with a body punch. So to me, I just believe that Devin doesn't possess those things that Gervonta possesses in regards to that. But he does present the problem for Ryan because he is an excellent boxer. He understands how to dictate in that ring. So to me, to be perfectly honest with you, I just believe that, and this is just me just seeing what's been going on recently, is if Devin stays behind the jab, keeps it in the middle of the ring, I believe that it'll be a long fight. And again, as good as Ryan, as talented as Devin, as Ryan is, the question more so is he going to be mentally ready? Is he going to have his game plan? Will he be able to execute it? And that's something that Devin Haney is always going to be on. He's always sharp. He's always understands the tempo of the fight. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. There was other things that were said in the presser. I'm going to get to that now. If you're on Instagram, you could go over to YouTube right now. We're live. I'm going to go into some of my notes. But let me get to the notes real quick. Devin Haney, comes out and outside of the trash talk, brings his list. He brings his hit list, which is a really good list, which makes me more of a fan of Devin Haney, right? So Devin Haney is not trying to do what everybody else is doing in a lot of these divisions where they're avoiding smoke, right? So he gave out his list: Gervonta Davis, Teofimo Lopez, and Matias, who a lot of people are wanting. Now listen, Devin Haney picks this fight for a reason, right? Ryan has a huge fan base. Ryan is actually the A side in this fight, right? You go out there, you beat him. That means in the last 2 years you had Cambosis twice overseas in Australia. He has pro grades at 140, which he showcased that he could dominate a bigger man. And now you got the fight with Ryan Garcia to where he fights a huge fight where it's going to be a big pay-per-view fight, a big fight for him. But he doesn't back off. He goes now and says he wants Gervonta. He's setting himself up for a Gervonta fight to where it's an even playing field, or somewhat closes the gap in regards to what Gervonta is going to ask for that fight. You know what I'm saying? We all know Gervonta is going to ask for a rehydration clause. He's going to want a bunch of things. He's going to want to dictate the terms. But Devin Haney is setting himself up so where the terms can't be that big of a distance. Because, let's say he goes out there and says, hey, boom, I go out and I beat Teofimo Lopez. Listen, Teofimo should be the unified champ at 140. He's missing one of the belts, which Devin has. You go out there and fight somebody like Matias, who nobody is calling out. People want to see Matias. Matias just signed a deal, I think, with Matchbox. If I'm not mistaken. Is it Matchbox? Whatever. So he signed a huge deal, and it shows pretty much that people want to see him. Let's say he goes out and beats Teofimo and Matias. These are huge fights. Listen, a lot of people want to see Matias. Teofimo just came off a questionable fight versus Jimmy Ortiz, but he also did beat Josh Taylor in a big fight. So to me, Devin Haney is closing. He's trying to close the gap the best way he can by winning big fights, and then coming to the table and saying, "Hey, what's up? What are we doing?" In fact, Devin Haney said he wouldn't fight no more Gervonta at 135. It would have to be at 140. No rehydration clause, none of that. So he's starting to pretty much cement who he is as a fighter. And I like what Bill Haney and Devin Haney are doing out there. They're moving very strategic. They're moving very smart. They're building clout. They're building a fan base. And this is not with a guy that's very, very excited. They're just taking the big fights. And listen, Prograis, he dominated. He completely dominated Prograis. He had a great fight versus Lomachenko. He dominated against Kambosos, who did defeat Teofimo Lopez. So Bill Haney has become a media star, social media star, where he's putting out a lot of things that are making people tune into Devin Haney and become a Devin Haney fan. So they're doing everything the right way. And this fight is part of that plan. At this point, it's part of that plan, and it makes it, it makes it appealing at this point, and a possibility to me for that Tank fight to happen. Tank, I think he's supposed to fight Frank Martin coming up. Finally, he's getting a fight, which a lot of people would believe is more respectable. And listen, if Devin continues at this pace, maybe in 2 years we get the Gervonta fight, and this is a mega fight. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely excited to see it. I love the way Devin Haney's moving. Devin Haney is moving extremely strategic, extremely smart. He has a great team behind him. He's dedicated. Listen, you couldn't put a better blueprint out there at this point in regards to what Devin and Mr. Bill Haney is doing, and I love it. Listen, I wasn't a big Devin Haney fan. He's not, he's a good boxer. Doesn't really pack much of a punch. Not that exciting, but he is doing everything he needs to do in order to build up his brand. His branding has been absolutely genius, and I think a lot of individuals can learn from him. Learn from a Rolly Romero. He's setting himself up for major fights, and he's using his dad as a mouthpiece. His dad is selling it. Hey, people are tuned into Devin. They want to shut him up. So, I mean, it's going to continue to build mega fights, and the way Devin is looking to me, I think he beats Ryan Garcia, and he takes it. But also, Ryan Garcia had a list as well, and on his list, he had Shakur Stevenson. He had, I don't know if he said Matias, but stuck out to me, he had Shakur Stevenson, and he also had Gervonta Davis rematch. And he had somebody else on his list, and then he said he'd retire. So there was something also that Devin said that, that Ryan is not dedicated, that he wants to make the money and then get out of here. And it kind of seems as if this may be true. And maybe Ryan doesn't want to box that long. He wants to make as much money as possible and go on to other things. In fact, Ryan Garcia is completely opposite of what Devin is. Devin definitely seems a lot more that he's going to have more longevity in boxing because, he's talking about mega fights going forward. Ryan Garcia is pretty much talking retirement after. In fact, he was talking about dropping an album on one of his lives. And I tune into Ryan. I feel like not everything is at this point with Ryan Garcia about boxing. I think there's a lot of things that he wants to do outside of boxing. And I think he wants to strike while the iron is hot in boxing, and his name is up there. Listen, when you make $41 million in a year, you're Ryan Garcia, and you're 24, 25, and he seems like he just wants to get in, get out, have his health, and start doing other things, become a millionaire, and whatever. And it's crazy because I was surprised he said Shakur Stevenson. To be honest, Shakur's stock is not that high right now, but he said he named 3-4 guys, and then he said he'd retire. So, Ryan Garcia has already started seeing the end of the road in this situation, which is a little alarming in my opinion, being so young in this sport. He sees the finish line. Devin is kind of building something that he wants to continue to do in boxing for years to come. Now, is that going to affect his preparation for Devin Haney? I don't know. If he loses badly to Devin Haney, gets knocked out, does he get to fight some of these individuals? Some people may say no, but I don't necessarily agree with that because Ryan Garcia's popularity is what it is. And honestly, I don't even think it comes from boxing half the time. He just has a huge following. People love Ryan. So to me, I still think he's going to hold value if he loses fight. And if he gets knocked out or something like that early, I mean, it didn't really affect him with Gervonta. He's still super popular. People still want to see him. But I don't know. But I will say this, him stating his last 4 matchups and then he retired type of thing kind of shows the mentality that he has in regards to boxing and how much he wants to deal with it. And remember, this is an individual that had he had dropped out of a couple fights because of mental health. So maybe that's something that that he's still facing, that he can't get over as long as he does boxing. It's one of those things. Sometimes your issues are based upon the things that you continue to do and you have to get away from. But if you can't get away from them, then you can't be mentally ill. And I think Ryan is definitely concerned about that. And listen, I don't believe Ryan will be boxing in the next couple of years. I think he'll be done with it. And it just seemed like that, at the presser. Even him squashing the beef with B-Hop. If you guys don't remember, in his last fight, he got up to the presser and took shots at Oscar De La Hoya and B-Hop. I don't know what he was thinking. So to me, there's a lot of outside things with him that make me worried about Ryan Garcia, and that's just being honest. What's good, y'all? But yeah, I thought that was very interesting. In fact, even I think Bill Haney ended up taking shots at B-Hop. I don't know what's going on. I feel like boxing has become like wrestling battle rap 2.0 to me. Like there's so many similarities in regards to boxing and battle rap that it's crazy, to be honest with you. But again, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia goes down on the 20th of April. There's going to be a lot of high mofos in New York City. It's legal out there. 420, there's a big fight that night. That's probably going to spark it up inside of the Barclays Center. It's going to be big. It's going to be major. This is one of the biggest fights of the year. I'm super geeked to watch this fight. That's what I pretty much got out of the presser. I thought it was a cool presser. I think, they're doing a good job of doing the tour for this fight. And again, you can't do that if you don't have somebody as popular as Ryan Garcia. So Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, listen, man, I'm super excited for it. I gave y'all my concerns in regards to Ryan. Somebody got Ryan with the knockout. That's a possibility. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks out Haney because he has that one-punch power and he has the speed. My biggest concern is his actual mental state and if he's going to be able to do it. I don't know if he's all there right now. Call in 470-326-6329. We're live right now on the 10A podcast. My man, let me see what he says on the chat. My man, let's talk about it. Says B-Hop and Bill got into before they announced the fight. Yeah, I heard about that. Listen, B-Hop he's an alpha male, man. He's always going to say whatever. And Bill Haney, listen, let's talk about Bill Haney. Bill Haney's not even fighting. He's not lacing them up. He's not putting on the shoes. He's not jump roping. But you know what he is doing? He is becoming a social media star, the Jake Paul of promoters. He's giving his son that extra oomph in regards to making him popular. And you got to take your hat off to him. They were interviewing his dad. They were literally interviewing his dad because people wanted to get quotes. There was cameras surrounding Mr. Bill Haney. Bill Haney is doing a phenomenal job of continuing to keep Devin Haney on your mind. Literally. He's on Instagram killing stuff. I've posted a lot of his reels on my Instagram as well as my YouTube. The guy's smart. The guy understands social media. And to me, some people get annoyed by that. Some people are like, yo, you're taking your son's star power, whatever. But listen, Devin doesn't seem concerned about it. They asked Devin, and he's like, yo, he's hilarious. He's always been like that. It's actually helped our relationship in regards to, from when we were growing up, he was very strict. And now I see a different side of my father. But he's always been a funny dude. But now I get to see it as an adult. So to me, Listen, Devin is not affecting Devin. In fact, I think it's helping out Devin. Out and listen, and a lot of I've been very critical of the father trainer relationships, the father son trainer boxer relationships, especially when I've been watching the Tiafimo saga with his dad. It's just a lot of stuff. That Devin Haney and Bill Haney don't give me that vibe. I really do believe that Bill understands how to promote. Bill understands what's best for his son, and he understands how to put it out there for the public. I think Tiafimo's dad, not so much, and you know, there's things that in my opinion, he's done that's hurt Tiafimo. But in this regard, I think Bill Haney's done everything right. To be honest, I can't critique Bill Haney because I'm tuned in every time he goes on Instagram Live. He is absolutely hilarious. He absolutely knows the pulse of what people want to see in boxing. He's even bringing in some of the biggest names like Floyd Mayweather and putting them in there. Like, I mean, Bill Haney was like, yo, he has that tank footage, right? He showed Ryan Garcia. So not showing he's mad, he goes, why don't he show the footage of when Devin Haney made him stop wanting to actually box professionally. He's put a good spin on a lot of things that people critique Haney with Devin with. The lack of power. He doesn't seem to feel like he doesn't have lack of power. In fact, he talks like, like Haney's going to knock this guy out. But he knows what it is, but he understands how to put a spin on it to where you have to respect what Bill Haney is doing. And Bill has been phenomenal. Listen, I wish I can have somebody behind me like Bill Haney. Like, he's done a great job with him. Let's talk about it since I think they both have confidence going into the fight because they fought before. I don't think it's the confidence thing to me that bothers me about Ryan. It's more so his actions outside of the ring. And it kind of makes me question his dedication and his mental state. He's already backed out of fights based upon his mental health, right? And listen, I don't know if it was true what Devin said yesterday that, Ryan was drinking at the presser and things of that nature. These are things that I would have an issue with if I was a trainer, if I was Derek James, of him drinking at the presser, getting saucy, doing other things outside, making music. I would have a problem with those things. So to me, the confidence isn't what it is. It's the actual preparation and mentally being there, especially dealing with someone that has already showcased that he has those issues. So it's not his talent, to be honest with you. It's more so what he's going through mentally. The divorce with Ryan Garcia, and then announcing having a baby, then announcing having a divorce the next day. Like, these are things that most people are not going to do. And these are overwhelming things. And you got to promote a fight, and you're trying to put out music, and you're beefing with B-Hop, and you're beefing with Oscar. These are, and then you compile that with he's already seen the end of the road of his career, the last 4 fights, and then he's done. These are things that are very alarming to me in regards to Ryan Garcia, and that's just being completely transparent with the situation. Is that in regards to him, being confident. Listen, he has the skill set. But my main thing is simply, is the mental stuff, is the things outside of the ring going to affect Ryan? And I think it has, and I think it will. I think his mental health came through the people he was around, and he tries all that. I don't know what you said. You shit's crazy, but yeah. I mean, listen. Even watching the interview with Ryan Garcia, and they asked him about the video of Devin Haney being hurt by Gervonta, and him saying, "Well, I can't talk about it." And then the person's like, "Well, why'd you bring it up?" And then he talks about it. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, like, what they're them asking you that can put Floyd in a situation, and that's called, I think it's called tortious interference, to where you can get a legal problem between Floyd and Oscar. And these guys aren't really friends. They might have a mutual respect for each other in regards to as competitors, but that's a serious allegation, and it could be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit if they can prove that. And you're talking about on public platforms, and anything that you say will be used against you in those scenarios. So there's a lot of things that Ryan's doing that really brings that makes it concerning for me. And again, I'm a huge I like Ryan a lot, man. I'm a huge boxer fan, and I just kind of peep these things, Hold on, roll something else. These are the things that are ready to place prior to signing the contract. I don't know what you mean by that. I think the beef with Oscar and B-Hop, I don't see how that's promotion, to be honest. I don't think that's positive promotion. I mean, what would him beefing with Oscar and B-Hop have to do with promoting a fight? So to me, I definitely do not agree with that. I think those are more distractions than promotions. And in this aspect, that's how I feel. I don't know. That's pretty much how I feel about it. Like, I don't see that as a positive thing right now for Ryan, to be perfectly honest with you. You know what I mean? So, we're gonna find out April 20th how it goes down. Again, the tickets aren't on sale yet, but I'm super geeked for it. I'm super gassed for it. And things of that nature. Now, I do have to address a couple things real quick. So my Puerto Rican peoples were a little upset at me for the blogs that I did yesterday, in regards to the Berlanga fight. And people were mad at me. People were like, Norbs, I'm upset. Well, specifically, my man Trap Life from Harlem was a good dude. And he was like, what are you telling? You're selling out your people. You're Puerto Rican. I can't believe it's you saying that nobody wants to see this Berlanga fight. Listen, I'm happy the kid's getting an opportunity to feed his family. I would never take that away. But I can't sit there and lie and say this is a fight that people want to see. And that's just being honest. It's just not a fight that I personally want to see. And I've seen multiple people killing it. And I think Canelo, they're not going to critique Berlanga. They're going to critique Canelo for taking this fight because this individual hasn't done enough to get this fight. Now, in regards to being Puerto Rican and supporting your people, I support 1,000,000%. I just can't get behind something that's not legit. And Berlanga fighting Canelo is not something that people want to see. So, what I mean? It's just, it's no hate. I don't want to hate. I'm not hating on Edgar. I don't have no problem personally with Edgar. I don't know Edgar Berlanga. I just know him as a fighter. And the temperature of boxing, this is not something that people want to see. Just being honest. So, it's crazy. It's like, oh man, I can't believe that. Yo, bro, he was literally texting me till like 4 a.m. We made a joke, but that's my guy. And he was like, oh, I'm going to get you a EB sweatshirt. Like, please don't. I'm not a fan. I don't have nothing against him. I do want him to do well. But I'm just being honest. I don't believe that this is a smart move by Canelo in regards to the public image. I think people are going to kill him. But maybe that's what he wants. Maybe he wants people to be so mad and really want Benavidez to beat him. And maybe that'll drive sales. I don't know. I'm just being completely honest in this situation. Being Puerto Rican, whatever. I'm just being honest. It's just not a fight that the public wants to see, and people don't see Berlanga as a serious threat to Canelo at this point. Now, in regards to him getting the opportunity to feed his family and set himself up for life, I'm happy for that. But to be perfectly honest with you, it's not a fight that I would miss work for or be excited to see. It's just one of those things it's just not good. So to my people that are upset that I'm not jumping out of my seat that a Boricua is getting a chance to fight Goat Nello, it's just not a good fight. I'm just being completely honest with you guys, And you got to go down the list. I mean, listen, if you go, and this is the thing I hate about boxing. how people become mandatory to other people without defeating the top guys that are in front of them. I hate the politics of boxing, and it puts a black eye on people that really genuinely sit there and watch boxing. And if you do, there's no way you can justify Edgar Berlanga fighting Canelo Alvarez. I'm not going to sit here and lie because the man is Puerto Rican, like myself, that this is something that the people want to see. No, it isn't. It is completely not what the people want to see. I can't stand this fight. I think it's absolutely horse poop, to be honest with you. But I am happy that he will be able to get an opportunity if it's signed and sealed, and it seems like it's going to be sealed. He's going to fight him in May, and then Jaime Munguia for September. I'm happy that he's going to get paid, but I feel like this fight it's going to be bad. I feel like Canelo is going to have to carry him through the fight for it to last. I think he's going to destroy him. If Canelo goes in there to destroy somebody, this is going to be one of them that may not go past 4 rounds. And it's just being completely honest. And, marketing the Puerto Rico versus Mexico thing, I get it. That's a big thing. I just don't believe that the people are behind Berlanga. The Puerto Rican people are not. They're behind guys like Matisse, Zandez. These are guys that they're really behind him. I don't believe that they're behind. And listen, he has Tito Trinidad behind him, who's beloved in Puerto Rico. I just don't see the people behind him. If you're a knowledgeable fan, there is no way that you're sitting there saying that this is a fight to make. And this is being honest. And it's tough because people use your ethnicity, whatever they can, to gain your I guess that you're expected to do stuff. And Puerto Rico is a very prideful country. The Puerto Rico-Mexico rivalry has been dating back since I was a kid. Camacho versus Chavez, De La Hoya versus Tito Trinidad, Miguel Cotto versus Canelo Alvarez. These are all classic matchups from the Puerto Rican-Mexican rivalry. I just can't sit here and tell you that this would be a part of them. This may be one of the worst losses Puerto Rico is going to take. And listen, I'm not saying Edgar maybe 2 years may not put it together, but as right now, just watching him over his last 4 or 5 fights, watching him against McFlurry, whatever his fucking name is, it wasn't impressive at all. And my biggest issue with it was pretty much that when they asked Berlanga, like he kind of knew it was sealed, and that's the crazy thing. Like it was a lot of like I guess you would say propaganda with the promotion and even the commentators talking about it, and it was just one of those things where I was like, bro, like this is crazy that they're trying to pitch something that nobody wants to see, and they're forcing people to actually, and that's the vibe I got. They were forcing people to actually be excited for something that nobody wants to see. So I felt like that was extremely alarming for me, and I don't want to see the fight. And again, this has nothing to do with Edgar Berlanga personally. It's just what it is to the public, in my opinion. And listen, I know you're gonna have your hardcore Puerto Ricans like my boy Jesse Rican, like, yo, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah. No, it's not. Take the flag away from your face and talk the facts. And this is not one that should happen. So to me, I feel like there's a lot. I mean, listen, if he beats a Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, even Boo Boo Andretti, any of these guys, I would say, okay, boom, hey, let's make it happen. He has not. So to me, it's unfortunate, and it kind of shows where boxing is today in regards to it's not what you know, it's who you know. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as if that's the big problem with this fight being made, is that it's not a fight that's deserving. It's more of a fight about relationships. And I'm not excited, but I'm not going to be fake about it as well. And, for those out there, listen, I love y'all to death. I love my Puerto Rican people. But this is not it. This is not, and we have guys like, like I said, Xander, and even Bam Ortiz. Bam, the one from Florida. I like him a lot. But this is just not it, man. And listen, I'm going to be rooting for him to do well. And I want him to prove me wrong. I really do want Edgar Berlanga to prove me wrong. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? And then that's just being honest. And I don't think it was fair to a lot of other fighters that are there. But again, it just shows what relationships bring for you. And that's all I'm saying about that. That's how I feel. If you feel different, you feel different. So it is what it is. And Sanchez comes out and says, Berlanga straight out, Edgar, Ed, it is what it is. I mean, listen, I don't want to call somebody that's a professional boxer that puts his life on the line butt cheeks, right? But I will say I don't believe that he's ready for this type of a fight, and I don't think he's earned the right to fight Canelo Alvarez. I don't think he's earned it, and that's just being honest. Listen, fighting McFlurry 18-0, 18-0 at the bars is absolutely insane, and it kind of just goes to show the politics of boxing. Everybody wants to see him fight Benavidez. I get the fact why he's not going down because of the money aspect. This is not going to be an easy negotiation. It's going to cost a lot. And Canelo's a businessman, so he's not going to force himself to fight him. But again, it also shows that the belts and don't mean shit because technically, if you don't fight your quote-unquote mandatory, you should be stripped of the belts, and he hasn't been stripped of the belts. And listen, again, I'm a Canelo supporter. So to me, it sucks, but, there's two elements to this with Canelo. It's business. You're not going to force him to take a payday just because it's the mandatory. If I don't agree, listen, I don't agree to this number. I don't agree to this number. So it's not like the NFL. It's not like the NBA where you have a schedule and things of that nature. But he should be fighting Benavidez. Benavidez should have the opportunity to fight for those belts. He's earned the right, which is completely opposite of Berlanga. But I do get the point to where you're not just going to take a number just because he's a mandatory. I get it. I get that with Canelo. It's a tough situation. You know what I mean? If you're Canelo Alvarez, people are attacking you for not taking the fight. You know who you should be fighting. Reynoso knows who you should be fighting. But at the same time, you have to come and, you got to come to a number. You got to come to a number that makes you comfortable. And again, you got to understand, these companies, their main goal is to make as much money possible and pay you the least amount without affecting their profit, right? So it's a negotiation, and it's tough to negotiate a situation like this by saying, oh, well, that's just mandatory. Okay. He's not going to just take what you give him. Somebody said, Randy Crawford fight Canelo. Listen, that's where I differ from everybody. I agree with Canelo on that. He beats Crawford. He's going to beat Crawford. Crawford's a way smaller guy going to 3-weight classes. He's not going to get credit for that. That's 100% facts. And then it's crazy. You guys want to see him fight him, but nobody's critiquing Crawford for not fighting his mandatory in Boots Ennis. Let's be real. That's the fight everybody wants to see. It's kind of the same situation. Why isn't he taking that risk? Because he wants the bigger payday, which is Canelo. Even though he's probably going to lose. He's like, fuck it, 3-weight classes, let's go. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But no, Tank shouldn't do more numbers at the Barclays than Haney, Garcia, Golden Boy Center. What do you think? He said he should do more numbers. And I think they're going to outsell Tank's next fight with Frank Martin, Haney. You can't take away the fact that Ryan Garcia is super popular. Like he's popular, guys. Whether you like him or not, he's super popular. You know what I mean? I think it will do more numbers, especially when you guys got guys like Bill Haney that continue to keep their foot on the gas, De La Hoya's been through this a million times. He understands what it takes to sell a fight. You got Ryan Garcia, you got Bill Haney, not even Devin at this point. Yeah, Devin's a great fighter, but you got Bill, you got him. There's a lot of elements that are going to help this fight. You know what I mean? And it's a fight that people want to see. Again, I don't know if the I've heard rumors that fight's not signed with Frank Martin and Gervonta. People are getting tired of Gervonta fighting tomato can after tomato can. So, listen, fighting Frank Martin is a good fight. It's a good prospect coming up. You know what I mean? Do I think it outsells Haney Garcia? No, I don't believe so. And I'm just being absolutely honest with you. You know what I mean? It's a big fight. It's a big fight. It's probably going to outsell Canelo versus what the fuck does he fight? If he fights Berlanga, I think Canelo's going to take a huge hit in this fight. But I think the networks are willing to take that just for the possibility of having the right to have the Benavidez fight, because I do believe the Benavidez fight will happen next May, and I think the Munguia fight, it will be a bigger fight because Munguia is a dope fighter. You know what I mean? But I think Canelo's going to take he's going to take a hit. I think he's going to take a hit if he fights that fight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Please hit the like button, man. Show love, man. I'm trying to do this for y'all, man. My man, Let's Talk About It says I'm going to put money on that. Canelo takes too many shots. I don't even know what he's talking about. Let's compare this Barkley crowd. The Barkley crowd, I think it's going to sell out. I think it'll sell out. Yeah, I mean, it's a big fight. It's a big fight. All around, I think it's a big fight. I think people want to see this fight. Ryan Garcia is super popular. So is Gervonta. But, Gervonta, for the first time in a while, is fighting. I mean, some of the people want to see. I mean, outside of Ryan, because people didn't want to see Ryan, but Ryan was a part of that fight too, and Ryan is super popular. Frank Martin is not as popular as Ryan Garcia. So Ryan versus, to me, Ryan versus Devin it's definitely a bigger fight. You know what I mean? But people are anticipating to see what Gervonta Tank Davis is going to do. So, it is a big deal. And hopefully it's him. I prefer to have seen Matias, but listen, Frank Martin is a huge fight. It's a competitive fight. I think Gervonta still wins the fight. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely looking forward to it. Ryan Garcia is a money fight, whether he wins or loses. His following his bananas. 100%. Let's talk about it. That's the facts. This is the strategic fight. Ryan Garcia, listen, Devin Haney is doing this fight strictly for the notoriety and the popularity that Ryan brings to the table. That's just the facts. You can't argue numbers. And in this, listen, there's a reason why these streaming platforms are becoming involved with boxing, whether it be Amazon, you know what I'm saying, whether it be Twitch or whoever it's going to be involved in these situations. There's a reason. It's a digital imprint. And Ryan Garcia has that digital imprint. Gervonta Davis has that digital imprint. Canelo Alvarez has the digital imprint. They understand it. And Devin Haney is understanding the business side of this. This isn't like before with boxing, where it wasn't social media driven like when Mayweather was fighting. This is social media driven. A lot of people are basing deals off of numbers that we can't see concrete. It's more of a digital imprint. And in this world of streaming services, that's what it is. Why do you think Netflix is getting into sports right now? Netflix is getting into, I think, boxing, if I'm not mistaken. So people are literally to understand how these companies are making money is key. And I think Bill Haney and Devin Haney understand that. And that's why we're going to see more of these streaming platforms, because that's what it is now. Bro, I don't even have cable. I just have a bunch of streaming platforms that I watch. To be honest with you, it's no need. This isn't 2001 with MTV fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is a different thing. This is the YouTube era. YouTube has gotten into the NFL. Why is that? You know what I mean? It's the digital imprint. It's what you bring to the table. And Devin Haney understands that. And, that's what we're going to get. So Tank has problems fighting guys his size or smaller. I mean, Amazon Prime. Look, listen, guys, Amazon Prime is killing it. I just watch a lot of stuff with the NFL. It's a different ball game nowadays. This is why Showtime's not there. They have a bunch of 75-year-old men behind the board. This is a different world. This is a streaming world at this point. And people, if you're a boxer, you have to understand how business is done today. And if you want to be successful, if you want, and I think a lot of boxers understand that. They don't understand that. But look at Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero doesn't have a great resume. He's not a great fighter. But he understands the business of streaming, the business of boxing, and how he can turn a buck. He doesn't have crazy knockouts. He doesn't have a resume. I think he has like 15 fights. But he understands social media. Jake Paul has taught us a lot. Shout out to Jake Paul. He should be called the godfather of this era of boxing because he showed everyone what an influencer that understands marketing and streaming and social media can turn into a dollar. And I think a lot of boxers have took heed to that. Rolly Romero, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. These guys are more popular because they understand the social media aspect of this. That's why the belts don't matter as much as they used to, because it's a different game. It's a numbers game. That's why Ryan Garcia, as long as he continues to have decent fights, will continue to dominate the airwaves in boxing because he understands social media. I watched a video of him putting lotion in his hair, and fucking millions of people were trying to figure out why he was doing that. He understands the game. The Latino community is heavy in boxing. They support their own. People lie, numbers don't. 100%. I mean, listen, there's a reason. I mean, the Latino culture in boxing specifically is probably the biggest contributor to like pay-per-view and stuff like that. Rolly knows how to promote a fight. He reminds me of a Snake Eyes in that. Well, he definitely battled. You could have said anybody else, and not no disrespect to Snake Eyes, but yeah, he understands. Rolly Romero understands the game. And again, this is a completely different game. Listen, look what social media has done for Amanda Serrano. She got a big fight coming up, attaching herself with Jake Paul. These are all things that people are not going to give Jake Paul credit for, but Jake Paul is the one that's introduced what we've seen as a today in today's boxing, which was dictating a lot of what happens, so, you got to dominate it. And I think, like I said before, I think Devin Haney and Bill Haney have their thumb on the pulse of this and are going to continue to be successful in boxing because they know how to get to the bag. And until other boxers understand that, they're not gonna know anything. So I'm super geeked for 2024. It's about to be a movie out there, man. So if you guys are boxing fans, and a lot of people say, "Oh, boxing is over," no, it's not. I mean, listen, boxing has the biggest events that people are promoting right now. Oh, as far as promoting one, I mean, I get it, but I don't think his promoting has been as successful as Rolly. Rolly has literally been the man. Devin Haney's posted, I will just watch him again. This and start that. Like, Bill Haney is the GOAT, dog. Devin Haney is the GOAT when it comes to the shit. Like, they know how to troll. These guys also, I watch their stuff literally every day. Every day. They have me tuned in. And that's just being completely honest, man. Like, it's just one of them things, man. But anyways, on that note, man, we're gonna end the show. I rock with y'all. Remember, Monday through Friday, we're gonna be live, 12 p.m. talking everything boxing. That was my take on today's show, and we'll be back. What's today? Today's Wednesday, right? Tomorrow. Shout out to my guy Monty Brown. He wasn't able to come in today, but we're gonna continue to tackle these subjects, and we're gonna continue to build, man, one brick at a time. It's your boy Norms, and this is the 10A Podcast. We are out.